Hey all, Hibber here. So today we are taking out an Agile Mainz CE, and this is the collector's edition, the original Mainz that was given to us sometime last year, I believe. And I don't really play the ship a lot because I think it's too powerful really, and I usually play the Hibber because I think getting good games in Hibber is more interesting and more impressive than doing it in Mainz, because Mainz is... it's very powerful. It's not overpowered by any means, but the damage output from this thing is just, well, pretty high. So we're running an Agile build here. So we're running Lutyens here with Baltimore and Soundwave and the usual perks, all speed and rudder. On the ship, we have the aiming systems, and then we have double rudder in the middle slots. And in the last slot, I actually have range. I don't have reload, because the reload is already pretty good on Mainz, so I like to have that extra range instead. Sonar, make sure you pick that. It's so powerful, 5.6 kilometers, and 2.3 rudder and 36 knots. So slightly worse than Hibber. Hibber is 2.1 rudder, and you also got 25mm armor, which I don't like. I prefer Hibber's 27mm, which I think is better overall for this type of cruiser here. You have to play Mainz a little bit more carefully than you play Hibber, because the armor is just not as good. Let's just put it bluntly like that. But then on the other hand, you do get much better DPM. It's about half the reload of Hibber, even with this build here. And the HE shells are nasty, and you can really rack up the damage quite easily and quickly in the ship here. And with an Agile build, you can do the fake turns like I'm doing here, make the battleships waste their precious salvos. He's like, oh, I was hoping for a citadel. But yeah, you got nothing. So we're going to head towards the C cap here. The B is quite well defended, and at the beginning someone over at A asked the team to go for the C cap. So sometimes that means that whatever division over there, they have some sort of plan. So that's also why I decide to go this way here. I mean, I don't know what they're up to, but since they ask us to grab this cap here, I'm going to do it, and I don't know if that's going to help them at all, but that's what they asked for. So Mainz works pretty well with an Agile build. I mean, you can that sheer damage, just damage output from this ship here, just it commands respect from other ships. So other red ships, they tend to stay far away from Mainz, which makes sense because it also has very nasty torpedo armament. It's actually better than Hibber's. So it's a very powerful ship, and I don't know if it's too powerful, but I'm happy that the new version of Mainz is just dialed down just a little bit, which I think suits this ship here. Of course, this version here is the original, the one that came out, like I said, about a year ago. That's very, very powerful, and yeah, I think Wargaming should do that more. I mean, we all make mistakes and put some ships in the game that maybe don't really fit in some way or another, and instead of changing the existing ships, then do what they're doing now, make them CE ships, and then create a new version that's more in line with the game really. So there is a destroyer in C, and we're going to push him, gonna get him out of there. I'm just gonna ignore those incoming shells because I'm on a mission here, and that's the Suya. It's not really much of a problem. I want to force that destroyer out. There's no one else really over here capable and ready to take him on. And I've got my 5.6 sonar, but the carrier is also helping, which is awesome. It's actually the carrier player in this game deserves a lot of praise, because it's actually rare that you get a carrier player who actually spots the DDs. So, but now I don't need him anymore. The DD is within my sonar range, and got some incoming torpedoes here. But an Agile build is no problem at all. You don't really have to wait for torpedoes. As soon as they show up, you can just turn and dodge them. There's no real thought process involved when you have such a fast rudder. So we still have the Iowa out here, and he's gone behind that island, which is probably a huge mistake. Well, it's not probably, it is a huge mistake, because he would be able to pound me sitting in here. But because I saw he was going behind that island, this was my time to steal this cap and force the destroyer out. So what can we learn from this? Well, if you're a battleship and you take your guns out of the fight, especially during a critical phase right now where, you know, we're fighting for this cap. And if I got blown out of the water, I don't know, we might lose this cap here, we might lose the game, actually. So that Iowa, just, you know, sailing away from the action, doing absolutely, well, F all. Let's put it, let's just say what's really going on here, right? He is, I'm not going to say he's responsible for the loss, but he has a huge hand in how it actually works out for the red team in this battle here. So I've got the cap, and right now I am just contemplating, do I go after that destroyer or not? I mean, he's very low health, and it's going to take me some time to actually get around the island. And even if I can spot him, then I don't want to chase the destroyer to the end of the map. But then the carrier spots him again, and that's when I make up my mind. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go for it. I might as well just remove this destroyer once and for all. Because as you know, in this game here, you cannot trust anyone other than yourself. There is a cruiser to my right, but I mean, for all I know, that could be some potato who doesn't know anything about the game. So I would rather, you know, reposition and go towards B. But because, like I said, you cannot trust anyone in this game here, I'm going to try to grab this destroyer here, but the very, very nice carrier player actually takes it out for me. And notice that the cruiser did not, and it's an Atlanta, I didn't see that before. And Atlanta could not remove that destroyer at, what, 4 kilometers away? For, what? How long was he spotted? 30 seconds, almost a minute? Yeah, fantastic. Anyway, so we're done over here. This flank is secured. There's still an Iowa out there on the horizon, but he is he's taking himself completely out of the battle and left his destroyer to fend off the onslaught of blues here. And like I said, that's yeah, probably not the best play. Anyway, we're going to take a little bit of, you know, easy damage of this Iowa here because he's spotted. And I can shoot at him unspotted. So, of course, when you get that opportunity, you take it, even if you're in an Agile cruiser. So, I would like to see where he actually is, because I'm kind of shooting, you know, on a whim here. But then I think, I'm just gonna sit here. Like, I'll get a hit once in a while. And you can shoot so often in Mainz that you don't really have to, you know, really be so careful with your salvos, as, for example, you have to do in Hipper. Where like a missed salvo, you have to wait 11 seconds or 10 seconds for another one. Here you just, like, it's 4 seconds or something like that. It doesn't matter at all. So it's better just to stay safe and just burn this guy from afar. As boring as this is, because this is one of my main pet peeves about this game here, is that, like, when you're shooting someone unspotted and you're just sitting there, like, and doing, like I'm doing exactly right now, it is, oh man, it's extremely boring. And yeah, you may get high damage game and high kills game doing this, but my goodness, it is the most dull thing I can possibly remember. If you watch my videos, I very rarely do that, because it just makes me bored, and then I get impatient, and then I do something else. So anyway, I did it in this game. Because it's a close game. It's going to be a close game the whole time. So I thought, I'm not going to make any, like, crazy moves here, because these guys actually play well. If my team is, you know, a bunch of potatoes, I have absolutely no problem at all rushing in, killing the destroyer, taking a cap and dying and moving on to the next battle. Absolutely not. But in this case here, the Blues actually play quite well, except for that Atlanta there. Let's not talk about that. But so I'm actually going to make an effort here. Wow. And when you've played 15,000 battles like I have, you can recognize a potato team 30 seconds into the game. At least I can. You will see how they're trying to position, which way they're turning the ships, and also look at their guns. Like, if their guns are flapping all over the place, then they don't have a plan. Like, they haven't locked their guns in place. They don't know where they're going. And that's usually one of the biggest telltale signs that the team is just going to throw. So you might as well just get the game over and move on. Of course, not always, but I'd say 8 out of 10 times, that's exactly what happens. And when you play this game enough, you can, like I say, you can recognize the signs immediately. primarily I play this game to have fun myself, and I don't play this game to stress myself into like crazy contortions to carry some potato team that really shouldn't win in the first place to victory. I'd much rather just move on and play a more fun battle. Yeah, you can agree with that or you can disagree with that. I don't really care. So we have the Martel here, and it's Beryllium Bear. I've seen this guy a lot, and sometimes he's in like every battle I play, and other times I don't see him for 3-4 months, and then he just shows up again and again and again. And this is the first time I've seen him in a long time. And he's in a division with 2 mates, I presume here. I don't know who he is, but like I said, it's a player I recognize. It's a kind of a funny gamer tag, and I guess I've seen him, I don't know, a lot, more than 20 times at least. And players like that, they just stick somehow in your mind. And yeah, and look at what happened here. The blue team actually kept the B cap without me helping, and that's also rare. It's actually a team that they play well, they know what they're doing, and let's see how close this battle here is. It's 465, 413 points. That almost never happens. It's always a steamroll one way or the other, because one team gets settled with a bunch of potatoes that, like, again, don't know how to play the game. And just, I'm not going to say ruin the fun, but certainly put a few dents in the fun for the rest of the players. So we kept an eye on this Hood over here. I always knew he was over there. I'm just waiting for him to come out. So that's why I was turning at that exact moment, so I could go bow on into his AP shells there. And again, he's shooting, and he does get a hit, and of course a fire. And then the one torpedo that the carrier gets off, I eat. As I was like, what? But anyway, now I'm just gonna go dark for a little bit, and then annoy this Hood here to get him out of the way. We don't want him to come in here and mix up in the action, because we are 1 ship ahead, but these guys aren't stupid, and there goes our carrier. So it's a very cool game this year when you play with players who actually understand the game and don't just do stupid stuff all the time. And you have to constantly adjust your play style, because what if like, except for the Atlanta, who I don't think he even fired at that destroyer earlier. That's pretty much the only like obvious mistake I've seen on my team in this game here. And wow, is that rare. It's really, really rare. So again, we've got this guy spotted here, and I think most of the credit actually goes to the carrier player. He's doing a really good job of spotting, even though he's out of the game now. And yeah, if you get a good carrier player on your team, and the other team gets someone who goes to the white line and like just flies around in the corner, well, you're just gonna have to, well, suck it up, basically. So now we get to the situation that I always try to set up when I play one of the German cruisers. And it is to isolate a battleship over here. That's why I was annoying this Hood before. Because I wanted him to turn out, and then I want him to come back and take the cap. And once he's coming back, I'm ready for him. So again, just go bow on, so he pretty much can't do anything to me. And just thinking, it's a little bit premature there on the torpedoes. We're just going to wait a little bit more, because I don't know what he's doing. And you can see he's just waiting for me to fire torpedoes, because he's also just waiting. And this is what I love. I love the like 1 versus 1 games here, where if you know your ship, you will win. If you don't know your ship, you will lose. Just like, again, just fitting in between the shells here, making his salvo useless. And yeah, works well. So it's a little bit like the ranked one-on-one, which is also a lot of fun. So I fire 1 set of torpedoes, and he sees that, and that's when he's turning. But obviously I haven't fired both sets. So I'm pretty sure he was going to do exactly that there. So now I'm just going to get closer, and like he has to turn, because I have 1 set of torpedoes coming, and we just fire another one, and just angle in a little bit here so he doesn't get in a nasty hit. And I probably should gone, narrow spread on that one, but anyway, it worked out. So this is what makes the German cruisers fun. And it's just bullying battleships like this. It's incredible fun, and it doesn't happen enough. So there's only this unfortunate Italian left, and we're just going to do the exact same play as before. It's the first a fake turn to make him waste his first salvo, and then we're just going to keep resetting him because there's only about 20 seconds left, and I won't be able to sink him. I might get a fire on him or anything like that and just get the damage above 180k, but that's about it. If there was more time left, obviously I wouldn't go at him like this, but there's only a few seconds, and it is a victory. And that was an Agile Mainz. Very powerful ship, doesn't matter which build you put on it, it can hold its own. And I still think Hipper is more fun to play, but because it's a little bit more quirky. Mainz is too powerful, I think. But 3500 XP here, and hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.